So many experts out there can tell you how to stay motivated, but let's not listen to any of their opinions. I like to rely on science. So in today's Guild Coaching YouTube episode, we are going to look at the science behind procrastination and motivation so that you can overcome what's holding you back and achieve your goals.
Guild Coaching. More success, less stress.
It's hard to take action when you just aren't motivated to do so, and there's real science behind it. Psychologists at the University of Freiburg in Germany found that if you have a negative perception of the action, it changes your ability to begin to do the action and to complete it successfully. So they found that if you can change your perception with a positive attitude, it greatly increases your chances of doing something and being successful at it. So how do you change your attitude? Well, I'll show you one tool that I use in changing my attitude when I don't feel like doing something. That is my journal. There's two things that I do in my journal when there's something that I don't really want to do. First, I write down the thing that it is that I want to do, and then I turn to a different page. I have several sections in my journal, so I go to my gratitude section and I find 5 things that I'm grateful for. They may or may not have anything to do with the task at hand. It doesn't really matter. Practicing active gratitude helps you to overcome fear and see things at the level where they really are. It's kind of like the monster in the closet when you're a little kid. The monster is really scary because you can't see it. You haven't really taken the time to give it a name and see that it doesn't really have fangs. So it's the same thing with anything that we're dreading doing. It's probably not as bad as we've built it up to be. So when you're practicing active gratitude, even if the gratitude has nothing to do with the matter at hand, it helps you to calm down and lower your fear over that thing. Then I turn back to the page that has the thing that I want to do. And I really make a pro and con list to show myself that it's actually not that bad. I look at the benefits of doing it versus the difficulties that I think exist. When you actually write down the difficulties that you're so afraid of, you see that they're really a lot smaller than you thought that they were. After you realize the thing you want to do isn't actually so bad, then you need to get real honest with yourself and know your limitations. And the reason for this is if you don't acknowledge your limitations at the beginning, then you're going to burn out. So overload, overwhelm, high stress and anxiety happens when we have piled too much on ourselves. I've heard people say that depression means that you're living in the past and stress and anxiety means that you're living in the future. Well, stress and anxiety can mean that you're living in the present and your past self overcommitted your present self. So know your limitations. Know that you can't do 10 days worth of work in 2 days. Know that you can't run a marathon in 15 minutes. Just know the reality of the situation so that you can set quantifiable and achievable goals and expectations for yourself. The third step is to make it fun. Even if it's something that you don't want to do, find a way to turn it into a game. There's a coaching method that I use with some clients. Men really seem to like it a lot, and it's called playing life. We turn any goal that they want to achieve into a game. We literally set up game elements along the way to make it more fun for them. Have you ever heard somebody say that they love their job so it doesn't feel like work? Well, it's probably because they're looking at it in this way. They're finding the things that they really love about it, and then they're building those up. So that is the bulk of what they have to do. So if you can turn any element of it into a game, then it will make everything better. I have a case study about a client who called me once, and the first 5 minutes of our conversation, I couldn't even break in. She just went on this diatribe about how terrible the next 72 hours of her life was going to be, and she's going to go into this horrible meeting, this retreat, and she was going to get reprimanded for her bad attitude. And I thought, gee, what are you now, like a fortune teller? How do you know what's going to happen in 2 days or 3 days? And so I asked her if she'd play with me, and we set up a game that would actually make this retreat that she had been dreading, and she had been talking about dreading this retreat for months, and we were working on her mindset about it, and now it got down to 0 hour. She was about to have to leave. But at that 0 hour, the stress was so high, she was actually willing to let down her walls and say, fine, I'll play with you. We set up a game for her to play throughout that whole retreat, and she was text messaging me through the whole retreat, actually laughing, saying that this was fun, that she loved the game, that the retreat was kind of about as pointless as she thought it was going to be, but she no longer viewed it as a waste of time because she put an element of fun in there. So if you can put an element of fun in, then I promise even the worst thing can get better. Like Mary Poppins said, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. And lastly, once you finally do get going in this thing that you need to do, take breaks. You'll actually finish faster if you do take breaks. It's true, it's scientifically proven. It's why classes are usually only 45 to 50 minutes long, because you start to lose your attention and your retention will go down after that. It's the same thing with your productivity. So whether it's at work or at home, whatever, take a break, step away, even if it's just 2 minutes, get up, go to the bathroom, go get some water, coffee, whatever you like to do during your breaks, even just like, I don't know, a walk around, step outside, regardless of the weather, and breathe in some fresh air. It's very, very good for you. Recently, I had a client text me pretty closely before his session, and it was a very long and run-on sentence text, and it said, I can't meet with you today. I'm gonna have to reschedule our session. I'm just pushing through. I have all of this stuff at work, and I'm just pushing through, and there's no way that I can stop. And my response to him was simply, no. And his response back was, what? And I texted back, no, I'm happy to reschedule our session, but you're going to hop on the phone with me for a second. And we did, and he was a little annoyed when we got on the phone, but this is a coach's job, is to challenge you when you are doing things that can hurt yourself. We hopped on the phone, it was just about 90 seconds, and I said, hey, let's call him Mark. I don't currently have any clients named Mark, so I'm not outing anybody. So I said, hey Mark, here's the deal. When you're pushing through, as we've discussed, your productivity goes down. So if you want to get this project done today, right now, with me on the phone, I want you to get up from your desk and walk outside. I'm happy to hang up as soon as I hear something different in your environment, like a bird tweeting or a car going past. But you are going to get up from your desk and you're gonna go stretch your legs. Take a deep breath, then I want you to get some water, stretch, and then you can go back to work. Let me know when you want to reschedule your session. You have to take breaks. When you do that, you're giving your brain literally a small vacation. That keeps it going. Going and going and going and pressing through and pushing on is like trying to take a cross-country car trip on one tank of gas. It's just not feasible. So take breaks and you'll see that your work product is a higher quality and you actually get it done in less time than if you just push through. Before you leave, remember to click the subscribe button and that little bell so you'll get notifications when we post new videos that can help you live a more successful life with lower stress.